Imagine opening Google Maps to get directions to your local grocery store and seeing a pin drop on your map indicating that you've been there before, but you know that you haven't. That's exactly what happened to a young woman in San Diego. This event was captured on camera. Let's take a closer look. When she opened her Google Maps app, the app had pinpointed her location on the street in front of her apartment complex. But the weird part was that the map also showed that she had been there only 3 hours before. At the time, she had actually been at work, which was confirmed by her colleagues, and she had never been out of the office. How could she have been at two places at once? She dismissed it as a glitch and went about her day. However, the same thing happened again the next day. She opened her Google Maps app to find a new pin drop indicating she had been at a coffee shop in the next town over. Again, it placed her there 3 hours prior, which she wasn't because she had been working. Not only that, but she had never been to that particular coffee shop ever. She felt unsettled and deleted the app from her phone, thinking maybe it would fix the problem. But she soon found that it didn't. Every time she wanted to use Google Maps, there was a pin drop showing up at a place she had never been, but it always seemed to indicate that she had been there 3 hours prior to whatever time it was when she looked at the app. It was almost as though someone was stalking her, tracking her movements without her knowledge. She tried to ignore it, but it became increasingly difficult as the incidents continued to pile up. It got to the point where she couldn't go anywhere without being followed by a virtual shadow. When she opened her map app, it would lead her to a random place like a secluded park or an isolated highway rest stop. She didn't realize it at first, but she noticed that each location was seemingly chosen to isolate her, somewhere she wouldn't be able to call for help if she needed it. At first, she thought that maybe she was going crazy. Could this just be a bizarre coincidence? Or was there something more sinister happening? Was she being stalked? By whom? And why? As the situation spiraled, she found herself questioning everyone around her. Was someone playing a sick joke on her? Had she accidentally stumbled into a twisted game? Or was it something far more terrifying? And what exactly was the motive behind it? Who was orchestrating this frightening game? Determined to uncover the truth, she embarked on a mission to find answers. The problem with relying solely on intuition is that sometimes our guts can betray us, leading us down paths of suspicion. In her state of heightened anxiety, she started to mistrust everyone. Her closest friends and family worried that they might be involved in this unsettling game. Even the friendly neighbor that she had always waved to became a suspect in her paranoid mind. She started avoiding social gatherings, staying locked away in her home. The constant dread that accompanied her every move left her feeling drained and exhausted. The fear of another surprise visit from her stalker kept her on edge. She couldn't bring herself to open the Google Maps app, but whenever she ventured outside, she found new pins awaiting her. One day, while poring over her map, she discovered a pattern. All the locations where the pins appeared were along her regular walking route. Someone had been tracking her steps. This realization shook her to her core. It was no longer a random game. It had become a meticulous campaign to keep tabs on her. Her anxiety intensified. She tried changing her routine, taking different routes. But the pins followed her. Fear started to consume her thoughts. She felt like a lab rat, trapped and observed in an invisible cage. Her stalker knew her habits so well that they anticipated her every move. She tried reaching out to the authorities, but how do you report something that seems unreal? How do you convince law enforcement of a stalker who uses maps? They saw it as a trivial issue, brushing it off as a minor glitch in the system. Frustrated and helpless, she was determined to find answers on her own. In a moment of inspiration, she decided to exploit her stalker's predictability. She created false trails, walking routes that led to nowhere, trying to shake off this virtual shadow. She walked for hours each day, covering many miles, and slowly, methodically, she watched her stalker's progress on the map. Her hope was that he would eventually reveal his true intentions, to show her the face behind the game. As days turned into weeks, she became a ghost, haunting the streets of her city. Her mission was clear. Then finally, after all her efforts, she saw a break. After weeks of relentless pursuit, she noticed something unusual. The pins were not appearing at random spots anymore. They were converging on a specific location, a small cafe nestled in the heart of the city. Hope surged through her. Perhaps this was the key to unraveling the mystery, the place where the pieces of the puzzle would come together. Intrigued and somewhat frightened, she decided to pay a visit to the cafe. What she found there would change everything. As she stepped into the cafe, she found it empty. The only person there was the barista. He was surprised to see her and asked if she needed anything. She ordered a coffee, hoping to calm her racing heart. As she took a seat, she pulled out her phone and opened the Google Maps app. The pin had moved. It was now at the cafe. Was this the breakthrough she had been waiting for? Had her stalker revealed his ultimate destination? Suddenly, a man entered the cafe. He looked up and their eyes met. Time seemed to freeze. She recognized him instantly. It was her neighbor, the very person she had initially suspected and then eliminated from her thoughts. But how could he be here? How could he be the one stalking her? He approached her table, a strange smile on his face. "Can I sit here?" he asked. Before she could respond, he sat down. He looked at her with a mixture of amusement and curiosity. "You look troubled," he said, noticing the distress on her face. "Is everything all right?" She hesitated, unsure how to react. Should she confront him? But how could she prove her suspicions? He leaned closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "If you want to get rid of those pesky pins on your map, I know a way." His words sent a chill down her spine. Had he been following her all along? Was he the one manipulating the map, tormenting her for his own amusement? As the weight of his words sunk in, a surge of anger coursed through her. This man, this seemingly ordinary neighbor, had invaded her life, turning it into a game. She pushed back her chair, standing up. "Why have you been following me?" she demanded, her voice trembling with emotion. He raised his hands in mock surrender, a playful grin on his face. Now, there's no need for that. Just a little fun, my dear neighbor." She couldn't hold back her tears. The facade had dropped, revealing the true extent of his obsession. His casual tone, his lack of remorse, it all pointed to a disturbing reality. This was more than just a game for him. He stood up, his eyes gleaming with a disturbing light. "It's time for us to play a bigger game, a game where you won't be able to escape." With that, he vanished through the door, leaving her alone in the now silent cafe. She was horrified. What did he mean by a bigger game? How far would he go to fulfill his twisted desires? But as she exited the cafe, she realized she wasn't alone. Someone else had been watching her. A figure emerged from the crowd, their face hidden in the shadows. "Looking for this?" he asked, holding up a familiar device. He was holding her phone. It was the first time she realized he had taken her phone. With a sense of foreboding, she watched as he dialed a number. The screen lit up, displaying a name that sent chills down her spine. It was her mother's name. He pressed the phone to his ear, a cruel smile spreading across his face. "Yes, hello," he said. "I have her now. You won't be needing Google Maps anymore, my dear neighbor. Our game is about to begin." He hung up the phone and turned to her, his eyes filled with a terrifying gleam. The game had escalated and she was trapped in the center of it. Stay tuned for more terrifying tales. Don't forget to subscribe.